Stand by to receive our transmission.
Where are you boys from in the world?
Alabama, sir.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Welcome to the Bama Geeks podcast. We are four friends diving into our favorite pop culture topics with a dash of Southern charm.
We have the tools, we have talent. It's Miller time.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
Wait, what? Crazy? You didn't say I was crazy.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
You want something done, you've got to do it yourself.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
So grab your biscuits and gravy, a glass of sweet tea, and enjoy the nerdy hospitality of Brock and Jessica Parker, Bo Bearden, and Kevin Gardner.
This is the way.
This is the way.
And just like that, we're in December. It's the Bama Geeks podcast. Hope you're doing extremely well. I'm Brock Parker, and with me, my four cohorts. Three cohorts. I'm the fourth. Just say who you are.
Hi.
It's Kevin.
Hi, it's Jessica. 'Tis the season.
And Bo, I guess, instead of ho, 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 I don't know.
Bo.
This will be the only episode you get before Christmas Day. So right up front, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Have a great, safe time. Good night, everybody.
Good night. That's it.
See ya.
Yeah. As one of your parents told you, you ain't getting anything else till Christmas.
That's right.
That's right.
In that full Alabama dialect.
But Mom, I need toothpaste.
Well, too bad.
You have to wait till Christmas.
Go outside and break off a tree branch.
It's too bad. I just had to buy presents for you. You ain't getting toothpaste till after Christmas.
Oh, boy, does that feel real. If you have kids, you know. Oh, my gosh. Mm. Oh, but we hope you're doing well. We're gathered around we got our tree up. We're gathered around the tree here in the Parker household.
We sure are. Yeah.
So, how you guys doing? You guys ready for a big Christmas season?
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
See, I'm the only one here on the podcast that doesn't have children. So it's always been an excuse to me to like, Christmas, it's not a big deal. But this past year, I made a New Year's resolution, a private New Year's resolution, which I decided I'm not going to bah humbug this year. This year, I'm going to go full out and do all the Christmas stuff, get the gifts, get all the good things, and put out the decorations. And I didn't go quite as all out with Christmas decorations as I did with Halloween. I will never go as far out with anything else other than Halloween. But this year, I've been feeling a lot better about this time of year. So yeah, this has been a very good season for me so far.
I saw your decorations that you put up, so they look good.
Mm-hmm.
They look really good.
Thank you.
I like them. Very nice.
Yeah, we got a few lights put up. I put a few lights up about a week or so ago, and we've got our tree up Monday and finished decorating it yesterday. So we're all rip roaring. At least for me, like, you know, everyone's always hectic with traveling with Christmas. Luckily for me, my in-laws, we do everything on Christmas Eve with them, and then my side of the family is Christmas Day. So it's instead of trying to compact it into one day, that's nice.
You talking about decorations, Bo? Your family's love of the Nightmare Before Christmas could still, bleed in from Halloween to Christmas.
We do have a Santa Jack inflatable by our mailbox.
Nice.
Nice.
We were driving over in Georgia last weekend, and we passed one house. I don't think you could see the house because of the inflatables. Their front yard was covered.
Yeah,
I like the inflatables, but I don't like it when people get carried away with them. I mean, hey, you decorate your house you want to, but for me personally, I'm like, a little, too much of a good thing, I guess.
We have a house in our neighborhood that it's a smaller house, but they go all out with decorations. And next to me, they were probably the most intense with the Halloween decorations, but they didn't skip a beat. They switched from Halloween to Christmas. They just took their Halloween decorations down, switched to Christmas. And I kid you not, you know those spiral trees that you can get that you just stand them up and then they're just the lights that go up.
Yeah.
They have every color in the rainbow. And,
nice.
And the colors in between. So it's like looking at them in Skittles almost. and they've got there's at least 12 trees, and they've got them lined up in an arc in their front yard. And I'm like, okay, I'm all for that. That looks gorgeous, but they're not inflatables. They don't have any inflatables in the yard, and it just. I think some people might think it's tacky looking, but I think it's awesome. I love lights.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Yeah, we've got a neighbor down the street who leaves up their Christmas decorations year round, like Christmas wreaths on the fence, lights on the fence. They don't light the lights, but they never take it down.
It just stays.
Yeah. Year round.
Year round.
Like, I mean,
that's your thing, you know.
I'm gonna assume it's maybe an older couple that just don't want to get out there and deal with it. But, you know, after a couple of years, the decorations kind of look a little worn down from the monsoon season and everything else. So
maybe you guys live next to Buddy the Elf. Maybe that's the thing.
Christmas decorations wasn't made to take that Alabama sunshine mid-September.
No. You know, when they first put them up, it's green and red by the time the next Christmas rolls around, it's, you know, lime and
yellow.
Yeah.
It's pollen season, so it's nice and yellow. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, as Brock posted on our social media recently, I did go for the Buc-ee's ornament.
That's all you can see on the tree.
For the Christmas tree. It's pretty big.
I will
big.
not lie. As a matter of fact, she doesn't know this. I sent Bo a message last night. Yeah. I was laying on the couch and I took a picture of the tree. And I said, the only thing I can see on this tree is a giant yellow beaver head.
And out of context, that preview message was very disconcerting at first.
What did he say? Look at our beaver?
Oh
well, just giant beaver head was like in the preview message, and I was like, "All right."
I'm telling you, the whole tree is beautiful. She did a wonderful job decorating it. It's got great, you know, Ghostbusters and Star Wars and some ornaments and everything from our youth. And but right in the middle is this glaring yellow Buc-ee's beaver ornament.
Buc-ee's beaver,
and it's huge, and it's the one thing that stands out. When I guarantee you look at our tree. It'll be the first thing to catch your eye.
Yeah,
it's like the size of about like what a teacup saucer type thing, and
just about.
Probably a little bigger. Probably.
Yeah, you can use it as a coaster, no problem.
Yeah. They did have smaller.
Recognition.
Oh yeah, they did have smaller ornaments, but I couldn't go for one of those.
No, she's like, do I get a Christmas shirt this year? Oh, look, here's one, a little bitty Buc-ee's beaver. Oh, here's this giant plate-sized one with the yellow with a beaver head on it. It's like, well, I don't know which one we're getting.
Hey, go big or go home.
Hey, you know, so far as truck stops and the like, obviously this isn't a truck stop; it's more of a car
travel
stop.
Center.
But, travel centers, yeah.
Disney World of gas stations.
So far as logos go, they have the best brand recognition. I mean, you can see that thing from space. If they pointed it up, you can see it from space. It just stands out. Like, you know, I just recently did a trip to St. Louis and just went to Arkansas and did some vacationing. And one of the things I noticed was a lot of the Love's truck stops that we have around here, which is one that's prevalent all over the South and the Southeast and whatnot. They have the big heart on the top, but a lot of ours around here aren't lighted. It's like it's just the heart up there. And then when I got further up north, I noticed that the actual heart was lighted. And I'm like, why don't they do that everywhere? You can see it from like 14 miles away. It's like, oh, there's Love's up there. It's got this massive heart on top of this. Because the sign itself is, you know, usually like 150 foot tall. And you can see it from, you know, like I said, like 14, 15 miles away, you know. So
airplanes don't have a problem getting that low and hitting it.
Right. And it kind of blew my mind. I was like, I kind of feel like we've been gypped. We don't have lighted hearts on top of the signs. Loves, if you're listening, which I know you're not, but if you're listening, you need to fix your signs, man.
It's like Zaxby's with the sandwich.
That's right, man. You need to fix it.
And Walmart with everything.
I don't think there's any fixing Zaxby's sandwich. But, anyway. Don't get me started.
Well, we're going to get into some Christmas items in just a bit, talk about our youth and things that we liked. We're going to go ahead and talk about the wonderful movie that is Ghostbusters Afterlife. You heard it on the last episode. We had more downloads in the first 24 hours for that episode than we have of any of our episodes so far. So we thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. Yes, guys. Wow. Thank you. Appreciate that.
We really appreciate the support, and the fact y'all cared what we had to say about it. We love the movie, as you know. We spoiled it, so we won't spoil anything else this episode because you got it last episode, but just wanted to touch on just a couple of updates. The movie's been doing fantastic. It's got $106 million domestic box office right now. Worldwide, getting really close to 150 million. So
I think a few other like worldwide territories are finally getting to see it finally. Like our good friend Jules is finally going to get to see it I think next weekend, isn't it?
This weekend,
actually, this weekend. As we're recording, okay. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, down in New Zealand.
Yep.
They're finally getting to see it. So that should boost up just a little bit. And if you have not been to the theater to see it, first of all, shame on you.
Shame.
What a love letter.
What are you doing, people?
But if you haven't, if you don't think you're going to be able to make it to the theater to see it, don't worry. Word is it's coming out on digital in January, and the Blu-rays and everything else will be released in February. Mm-hmm. They've had plenty of time over this pandemic to get everything printed and ready to ship and everything. So we're going to see a pretty quick release of the movie on home video, which it won't be IMAX, but hey, it'll be good to be able to pop it in. It depends on
what your budget for your home video is.
Well, this is true.
That's very true. Okay, we won't be able to see it in IMAX quality. Jess and I will be like,
I miss you, IMAX.
Miss you, IMAX, and hurry up, kids, and turn 18 so I can stop paying child support. So I can buy a theater. No.
Dang.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't want my kids to grow up that quickly. But I would like a home theater. So anyway. So Ghostbusters has done fantastically. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. That's all I can say. And the movie is certainly generating a lot of hype for a certain project from Hasbro, the Ghostbusters Proton Pack. We've talked about it before. It will have ended by the time you hear this. Mm-hmm. From our perspective, it ends tomorrow on Sunday night. And it's the Ghostbusters Afterlife Proton Pack, HasLab. It is currently, as we're sitting here, it needed 7,000 backers in order to put it into production. We are sitting at 16,491.
Woo! Yes.
All the stretch tiers have been unlocked, so we're going to get a lot of neat things with it. Because I'm a Hasbro Pulse Premium member and I ordered mine right within the first 48 hours, there's going to be some vinyl plastic slime that you can drip on the pack. That was kind of a bonus for premium members. We're going to get the hose that's going to connect the Spangler wand, which is sold separately, and they are taking pre-orders for those. So if you haven't gotten one, you got plenty of time to get one before the pack releases. What was the second one? The second one is you're going to have 3 toasted Mini Puff figures from Hasbro, Plasma Series Mini Puff figures. They're going to have 3 alternate heads, and
they can attach. You can fix them on the pack.
Yeah,
which is something Bo has been like talking about, for years, as far as his own pack, as trying to do something with the little, mini Stay Puff. Well, recently actually with the mini Stay Puffs coming on, Bo's been talking about trying to do something with his own pack. With the
I was going to, find a way to make one be able to either adhere it without messing anything up. But that was when I first saw them, I was like, yes, I need those little guys causing chaos on my Proton pack some way or another.
Well, it's going to come with 3 toasted ones, and their hands are going to be able to grip around the wires on the Proton pack. So they made it specifically so they would fit on the pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have Proton Action Grip.
Good one.
So that's the second unlocked tier. And that's also going to have kind of like the slime, if you're, like I was just mentioning, they're also going to have kind of a marshmallow plastic or vinyl that you can drip on the pack as well. The third tier is called the Spangler Special. You're going to get a notebook full of Egon's notes about the Proton pack, and you're going to get a set of decals. And in that class 1 as well, it also comes with decals to turn it into a 1984 pack. So that'll be cool. the one that I wanted was the 4th unlocked tier, and that's the stand. It's going to come with a stand that you can put the pack on. So, I was kind of hoping, kind of like the Razor Crest from Star Wars, it got funded and blew through all the tiers so quickly. They actually added in extras for it. And I wish this would have funded all the tiers a little bit earlier, so maybe we could have gotten some extras. And who knows what they may surprise us with. But as of right now, all those tiers are unlocked. No extras outside of that. $400 for the pack. And it can be either the Afterlife pack, or you can convert it over to the 1984 pack. So, but Adam Savage put out a really awesome video, and that really helped, I think, drive the sales for this thing, because he gave it an up-close look, and it is fantastic. It's hard to believe that, for all purposes, this is a toy. But it's like, wow. If you've ever wanted the Proton Pack, hopefully by now you've got it, because the campaign's over when you hear this. So
I just can't help but thinking back to GB2, the Proton Pack is not a toy. Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Egon could not foresee the future, just kind of like Ray and thinking the firehouse was a Starbucks. But I'm really happy to see this get funded and fully funded and get through all the tiers, because Hasbro had a little bit of a hiccup when it came to, of all things, kind of surprised me, Star Wars. Their recent HasLab with the Rancor failed, which on one hand, the way they handled it, it doesn't surprise me that they failed, but on the other hand, it's Star Wars. And it was a HasLab, and it failed. And that really surprised me. I mean, they fell. They needed 9,000 backers for that. They got 8,533. But there are plenty of videos and commentary out and about on why that marketing team failed. So go look those up. There's no need for us to get into it. There's plenty of people that have ragged on this, but I wanted the Rancor, but the stretch goals, even though that should not have been basis for my decision for backing out of the HasLab, should not have been the stretch goals. I should have gone into wanting the HasLab just for the Rancor, because I've never had a Rancor, and it was going to be pretty huge. But the stretch goals, were lackluster. They really messed that one up, and that caused me to back out of mine. But G.I. Joe had a HasLab as well. The Sky Striker, they needed 10,000, and then G.I. Joe's marketing team handled it beautifully at the end, and they wound up getting 16,737. So if you order the Sky Striker, you're going to get it with some neat little extras that they threw in there right at the end. Cobra figures, like the original retro O-rings. So I've talked enough about these. You guys got any thoughts on it? On any of these?
I think you said enough for all of us.
You covered that pretty well, hon.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. My only comment was that the moment that we got together with a couple of people from YHS that night, that they were counting down the deadline on the Rancor, it was like, kind of short of being, like a New Year's Eve get together, the countdown to see if it was funded was quite hilarious.
It was. And that clock hit midnight, and that thing failed. And we're like, oh, well.
Alrighty then.
Like I said, I think it was probably just too much going on at one time to try to get people to do the pack and it. That's just me. There
was a lot there at one given point in time, especially this time of year too. But
yeah, and the Rancor has been released in figure form before. Sky Striker has been released as a vehicle, even though this one is a new updated modeling and tooling of it, and it's going to be a little bit more robust than the old toy was. But nobody has seen a Proton Pack.
Right.
A lot of people outside of like the whatever collector community, people forget that like movie stuff, Ghostbuster wise, really hasn't been around that long, 10 years at the most.
Yeah.
And that was Mattel doing its mostly exclusive online stuff, really, where you could, get it much more widely available is the last 4 or 5 years with them.
Yeah. So I hope that this is a really good showing for Hasbro. Their marketing team has done really well in getting this this proton pack out there. I mean, Jason Reitman has featured it, and it's had the entire power of Sony behind it as well.
Yeah.
Sony marketing has been behind it, and it's done well, and it's exceeded expectations, I think. And I'm really hoping that this paves the way for another new PKE meter based on Afterlife. I would love to have a movie accurate, PKE taser.
Yep. That would be awesome.
And I know this is going to cut Bo's soul out a little bit, but I kind of hope they do a trap.
Well, see, that's why I've got planning. I've already got what they're going to do. See, they're going to do you with the trap, but I can already tell you their top tier, whatever you want to say, stretch goal will be the RC edition where you can do that. But I'm just saying.
And you heard it here, folks. That's what he's saying.
That is the hashtag Bo prediction.
Bo knows.
He does.
Bo absolutely knows.
That's thought of my process for other stuff going on is I'm willing to bet they have a trap in mind. I don't know. Like I said, I think probably after the pack, I want to say the goggles will be the next thing.
Yeah, I need to get another pair of Ecto goggles. I had the actual frames and made a pair of goggles, but sold them years ago, and I never got the Maddie one because I didn't think they looked that good. So a pair of goggles would be fine. But you know what? I would much rather, just for my own sake, since I love building props, on gbfans.com, AJ Quick's long-running Ghostbusters shop and fan site, he has got like perfect replicas of the frames up for sale. So I'm more inclined to go over to his site, get a pair of his frames, and then just create my own set of Ecto goggles again. I'd rather support AJ in that endeavor. But if they release a toy replica version, I'll probably get those two just to support Hasbro because I want to see more Ghostbusters products come out. So
right. And the more support and all this that Hasbro gets behind this stuff, it's good for the Ghostbusters fans, the community.
Yeah, and why I said it was going to rip Bo's soul out is because, and I'm going to tell on him here.
Go ahead. Hey, it might be free advertising. You never know.
Hey, if you're in the market for a Matty collector Ghostbusters trap, look no further than Bo. He might be willing to part with one.
Still in the box, right?
Yes, new in the box, and to my knowledge, never opened.
So
there you go, folks.
if the podcast will allow, whenever I do decide to finally list it for sale, there's more than welcome to share. I mean, hey,
of course we will. You're 1/4 of the Bama Geeks.
You're a part of us, man. We're all in this together.
We have no problem with self promotion of things.
For a part of the commission rate, right?
Yeah. No.
No. Of course not.
Oh,
we'll talk later.
Yes.
No, just go look on eBay for these things, and you'll see why the motivation is there for Mr. Bearden to part with one of these.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. It's got me like I'm taking it to build me a pack. Like I said, that was the thing. I was like, hey, I already tried to sell this thing to get it on the HasLab, and then I waited too long, and I'm like, well. So, like I said, now I'm going through the fun thing is I've been digging through GB Fans, which is weird. I always gripe at people never going there to check for building stuff. But now I'm going back through and I'm realizing, holy crap, I forgot who build pack shells and stuff now. So I've got to reacquaint myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are you back in a pack? Are you going to get the
No, I'm not getting a HasLab. I think I'd rather do my own. The only thing that's I'm going to hate not having the HasLab pack is the ability to take off the cyclotron and kind of flip it around. That is really cool.
But with so many of our friends who are just amazing prop builders,
yep,
they'll come up with a way. They're already working on ways to make this happen. So just follow their guides and you'll be able to make one.
Yeah, it's going to do. Like I say, with me, like another reason why I'm kind of anxious on the HasLab, I guess, is the Spengler pack. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I love Egon. He is not my favorite of the four. I guess I'm more of the Ray Winston guy. I don't know if the other guys' packs in Afterlife are any different or they just look like the 89, 84 packs. I'm not sure. I'm waiting until we get that beautiful digital release so I can pause it in every frame and see. I mean, outside of that, the biggest thing I would think is, like I said, main thing is I'm waiting on the pack builders to incorporate the like I said, this is quote unquote spoiler not-ish, but the new switch on the pack on the ion arm, I'm sure that was supposed to be on everything. It was just never seen.
Yeah, they've already got it identified and got working packs or working switches in the packs. Matt Burkett has already solved that problem.
Yeah, I've seen where I can't think of his name. What is it, Brad or Bob, the prop designer for Afterlife? Ben, I'm sorry. Yeah, I saw his. I've been watching a few of his videos talking about some of the stuff they did for the packs, which is just ridiculous now to think this is where we're at in modern day, where you can just ask the guy and he'll record a video for you about what they did to make the prop to save you the hair pulling of searching for everything.
Yeah,
it's come a long way, hasn't it?
I think his TikTok is Dreadmaker Roberts, I do believe. So go follow him on TikTok. Look up Ben Eadie, Eadie. And he was prop master for Ghostbusters Afterlife, and he's spilling some details on what they used to make the packs and all the equipment in the movie.
Yeah, he discussed the pack. I want to say he discussed some of the trap, the RC trap, and I want to say people were asking about the Alice frames, and that was kind of fun to hear him talk about. Like he kind of had to go through what some of us guys who've built them do. It was finding the Alice frame. Yeah,
they had to use some of the knockoff Alice frames, just like some of us have to do. So that it was good to hear that even the big boys responsible for actual props are having to go that route. You know, it's just like a lot of some of the traps in Afterlife are Spirit Halloween traps. Because they were cheap to buy and they could dirty them up and stick them in the ground and everything else.
It needed a lot of them. So, yeah.
And I know we still keep gushing over Afterlife. Guys, I want you to know I've got the soundtrack / score is now part of my YouTube music playlist. And the darn soundtrack makes me cry just because we watched that movie so many freaking times. I know this is the band nerd in me. I know the audio cues and all that stuff now. Like it wrecks me still.
It's a great score.
It is so good.
I love to have it playing.
It's such a good tribute to Elmer stuff. But there's a lot of I know a lot of it's reusing the Elmer stuff, which is great because the music's just part of it also.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's got a lot of good little stuff leading up to it with his own stuff that I like a lot. Like the guy Rob Simonson, I believe. I'm sure I'm butchering his name. But
you got it. Yeah, that's.
And I know I'm sorry, I'm leading this off in different territories. Always.
No, it's fine. I noticed Kevin is wearing his Shandor's Insurance shirt. That was a spur of the moment idea that I had come up with and put it on the Alabama Ghostbusters shop because J.K. Simmons. I mean, you've heard us talk. J.K. Simmons plays Ivo Shandor in Afterlife, and he's also the spokesman for Farmers Insurance. So I kind of altered the Farmers Insurance logo, made it Shandor's Insurance, and says Ivo's seen a thing or two because he's been split in two.
I think I'm going to order the sticker and put it on my truck because Farmers is my insurance, so that would be even better.
Nice.
And then they have to inspect your truck if something ever happens to it. And where'd you get this? Oh, hi, copyright infringement.
No. It's a parody.
That's right. It's fair use, hopefully. So.
Well, it was good to get together with y'all again to watch it. And thanks to Kevin for arranging that get together. We got to see Afterlife again with not only us here and those of us here at the podcast, but our other ALGB members and family and things that got to come. And it was I wanted to tell Bo that I was talking to Oliver afterwards, and Oliver told me I have been bitten by the Ghostbuster bug.
He's been munched.
Yep.
So I know Dad's just welling up right now with this.
It's a very happy moment. Like, so I've never tried to force any of the stuff I like on him. So because I want him to be his own person. But every now and then I'm like, hey, you got to try to give Ghostbusters a chance. And he's been but Afterlife it's been the gift for me to more than just the emotional happiness of seeing a movie I've waited 30-something years to see, but also finally get my kiddo into it. So now I'm doing my homework on getting him a flight suit and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've had him a spirit pack for like 3 or 4 years, but like I said, I've got a bunch of the uniform stuff. I just don't have my flight suit, which is I've been picky about it because I'm just being picky about it.
Well, from experiences, at least Kevin and Bo have been around my kids when they were much younger, and I had bought a flight suit for my daughter at one point, and she quickly outgrew that. And then my son wore it for I think once, and then he outgrew it, and I haven't tried anymore because they're now almost as tall as I am. So
yeah. And podcast is his favorite character, right?
Yes, correct. Podcast is
what was it? Was it when we were listening to the Cross Rip podcast? I think Chris Stewart, they talked about his son, that the kids seem to be more of a geared towards podcast. He's really doing it for this younger generation Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like with my kids. I'm not going to say I tried to force it on them because I did. But not too much. I wanted them to watch the movies and everything to experience that love that we had as kids, their age. But we took.
Well, I mean, I don't mean like the force. I mean, there's some people introduce their stuff that they have from their children, which is completely fine. And then there's some people that get a little over carried away with it. You know, I like this, you should like this type attitude. And I'm like, no, man, you know, they like it, you know, and like that's the same way you were with it. Yeah.
Well, when the kids came up for Thanksgiving, before we went to the ALGB showing, I took them to IMAX. And because I said, you guys, I know we're going to go see this on Saturday, but I want you to see it on Friday because we didn't have an IMAX theater for the group showing, but I wanted them to see it in IMAX. IMAX gets in there. Movies last like a week or two, and thankfully Ghostbusters had 2 weeks in IMAX. And that was, I wanted them to experience that way, and they both just were in tears after it. My daughter walked out of there and she's like, I know that we've been around Ghostbusters our entire life and everything, and it really has not meant that much to me, but that was one of the best movies I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Well, that just speaks the volume. Like I said, beyond it just being a good legacy sequel, it's a great story. It's so good. Yeah. And like I said, as you say, it resonates with us, the older folks, and then it also resonates with the younger folks. So that's. Yep.
And now Jason Reitman and Gil Kennan have been signed to a multi-project deal with Sony. They didn't say for what.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. We know what it is. You don't have to say. We know what it is.
Well, the cool thing
Sony's been doing their best to make Ghostbusters more bankable for a while now. So
they found a way to do it.
This is it. They figured it out. Yeah.
Yep. So, in talking about all of our kids and getting them into it, it's just that time of year where we all have to put the kids kind of at the forefront of life, because Christmas is really about spending time with family and making the most of it for your kids. That's always been my belief. That's something that my mom did forever. Both my mom and dad really, really made Christmas special growing up. And it's been hard to recapture that in my brain, because just for instance, my dad was really cool. Back in the 80s down in South Alabama, you could call your own home phone number. Dad would be at the front of the house. He would dial the number, it would ring, and I would pick it up. And this is usually around the beginning of December. And my dad's got a real deep voice, and he'd get on there and ho ho ho, hello Brock, and what do you want for Christmas? And so I thought for years I was talking to a redneck Santa.
Country Santa.
The best kind of Santa, the redneck Santa.
Country Santa, because my dad is country.
Yes.
But he would do that, and he would also, he's a retired state trooper, Alabama state trooper. He would always load up in, let's say it was just the two of us. I've got 3 older sisters who lived elsewhere and were off with their families and stuff. I came along much later. But Dad would take me in this trooper car and turn on this PA system. We would drive around neighborhoods. And he would, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, like on Christmas Eve, which coincidentally is his birthday. Mm-hmm. But we would ride around and do that. And you'd see lights turn on the porches and see the doors open. Like, what's going on out there? Lived in a small country town. And on Christmas morning, I would get up and there would be a white sheet leading from our fireplace to the Christmas tree. And Dad would always take his boots and put them in the ash in the fireplace and, make Santa tracks with his boots over to the Christmas tree. If there's anything my dad did right in his life, it's that. And I'm not saying he didn't do anything else right, because he did. But if there was ever a memory for me that I will always cherish, it's that. And unfortunately with my kids, we had an electric fireplace in the house they grew up in. Can't really put ashes in soot because they're like, huh? Hey kids, look, pieces of plastic from the fake logs. So I didn't have the chance to do that with my kids. So that's one of the great memories I have. Do you guys have any memories like that? So, something that made Christmas extra special for you guys?
I just always enjoyed when we were growing up and just riding around and looking at Christmas lights. You'd go to certain neighborhoods that you knew were, the best ones to go to and see the best lights and the best decorations. We used to have a house, I remember, and I always loved to go see this house, and they would have all the wooden style decorations and stuff out in the yard, but they always made up like a little makeshift ice skating rink, and they would have little characters on the ice skating rink, and they had a little house that set out beside it, and they had Mr. and Mrs. Claus. So that was one of the things that I always enjoyed we did as a family, is just to ride around and look at the Christmas lights. And I remember one year my dad had set the recorder, the camcorder up in the corner on the tripod, and we were going to try to catch Santa, and he had it shot on the Christmas tree, and all of a sudden it looks like the tape messed up. And then when it came back up, he had done like this little thing with the Santa hat just kind of bouncing around at the bottom. And then you looked and you'd see all the stuff that was under the tree. So yeah, I have those memories growing up. I will never forget seeing my Barbie dream house under the tree, the bicycles, and I know some parents wrap the gifts and put them under the trees, but mine, we always had the gifts displayed out in the living room. Mm-hmm. So, it was just always that. I would have to say I miss that excitement that you would get on Christmas Eve when you needed to go to sleep, but you just couldn't go to sleep because you were just so excited. You just couldn't wait to see what was going to be there when you woke up in the morning. And in a nutshell, that's just my favorite memory of Christmas.
How about you guys?
Mine's sort of sweet. Like I said, I have my memories, and like I said, as Jessica said, we used to do is, I believe it was our way of calling it, or especially around here in Alabama, go Christmas light looking, I believe is the correct vernacular term.
Christmas light looking. Yeah.
That is, I believe. Yeah. So we had a couple of houses we would do that, and just some of the random memories I have, like one of them I have is, because I remember we have some photos of it. We used to, back a long time ago, like I said, I'm 40-ish. We Century Plaza back in the day, they would used to. I don't know if you, I know you're more central. Like, you remember how we used to have the Christmas displays throughout the mall? And they had one year they had a Sesame Street one. That, I don't know why. That is the one that sticks out for me. And this is probably mid 80s, 85, 86, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
That's the one that seems to stick out for me the most. But I remember they used to have those amazing like Christmas displays. Like they would have the little functioning lands. Like, so we would go there. That's, pre River Chase Galleria and all that stuff. Yeah. That was the mall of Alabama, and that was the Christmas decoration plethora. And then of course
they always did right. Yeah, Century Plaza was a good one.
They did good. And then, like I said, the early days of the Galleria, they still do some now, but like the early days of Galleria, they'd have the massive tree lighting and all that stuff.
Yeah, they don't do nearly as much as they used to, but they still do a lot. Yeah. Yeah,
the malls back in the day, that was always that's always a good memory too. Yeah.
You'd have, like I said, I remember it used to be a big to-do, of course, I'm sure the last few years, but, they'd have the tree lighting, they'd have a chorus, they'd have a full band, Santa would come swooping in from the skyline, it was everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of mostly my memories of stuff like that. Just, event, like you said, it's mostly all, like you said, tied to your family, you're doing something together.
Right. Right.
Well, when I was a kid, we always had this one, and my memories aren't as vivid. With Christmas tree light looking, as Bo put it. We had Christmas tree light looking. But there was always, and my mom could probably tell me if I asked her, but there was this one place that we would always go to down in central Alabama, close to where I grew up at, that it was one of those folks, the guys that just had like a lot of trees in his yard, and they would always do this drive-through thing where you could just go, like you got some of the events where you would pay like per car, and then you go and you drive through, and it's like this thing. Mm-hmm. Well, this was this guy's house, and he had massive trees, and he had actually partnered with Alabama Power, and Alabama Power would bring in their big boom trucks, and they would actually help him hang lights all the way up to the tops of the trees. To this day, I still remember going through there and just being absolutely amazed. You guys ever seen the GIF online of the cat that's sitting up under the Christmas tree staring at like the little shiny Christmas ball? That's how I was. I was like sitting on the edge of the car, of the window, just kind of looking out, and I will never forget that. We did that almost every year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm sure the older fellow that did it is passed at this point, but it was something that was really, really, really memorable. So I think we all kind of got good memories of going around doing Christmas light looking.
Yep. Christmas light.
We'll see today, where everyone's spoiled, you can just pull up a YouTube video of someone's elaborate Christmas display. We had to get in the car, and then word of mouth, somebody would tell you, and then that's how we went and found these cool displays.
Yeah, we had to drive there uphill both ways.
Exactly.
In the snow. Well, not in Alabama. Never mind.
Yeah.
With the tornadoes around.
Yeah, we had tornadoes. It's the Christmas tornado, which, by the way, what a horrible weekend this has been for folks up in Kentucky and Tennessee and Missouri and Arkansas. Wow, our thoughts are with those people. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's always amazing this time of year. But back on a happier thought, me growing up out literally 20 minutes out in the country in South Alabama, we would have to drive up to Enterprise. And there was always this guy, every year he and his wife had a big board on the very tip top of their roof, and it would always say Roll Tide. And if Alabama beat Auburn, it would have the score like the day after the Iron Bowl. But, if Auburn won, it just said Roll Tide, but that was always a landmark in Enterprise. And everybody who grew up in the Wiregrass knew that house because it was on a main drag going through the city. But we didn't have a whole lot of Christmas lights that we would drive around and see down there. Dad would always put them up in the yard, but like I said, you live 20 minutes out in the country. Not a lot of people saw it, but Dad had this. The thing was bigger than me as a kid, big Santa Claus head. We had, kids before cable and streaming and all that stuff. We had antennas. And we had a massive antenna in the backyard, the one that had 3 legs but shot up straight. Thankfully it wasn't tall enough that it needed like guide wires to hold it, but it had an antenna on top of it that rotated. But Dad would climb that pole and mount that big Santa head so you could see over the top of the trees this giant Santa as you're driving past our house looking over. But yeah, they would wrap the front door in wrapping paper every year, and he put some lights outside, but it was mainly like big tall plastic Santa on the antenna, a tall plastic Santa that he would sit out on the front porch, and the snowman, and this was pre-inflatable. These were hard plastic.
Love them hard plastic Christmas decorations, though. Those are the best.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that I saw when I was shopping for new Christmas decorations this year is they brought the plastic Santas back.
Yeah,
they did.
At Home Depot. At Home Depot, you can get the plastic Santas that we grew up with. Like, I'm sure they're not the exact, but they are the plastic Santas that have the lights on the inside of them.
Oh, we've got to get one.
Yeah, those plastic displays, 2 things that stand out to me are those and the manger scenes. Those are 2 things that I associate with Christmas.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure all those produced in the 70s and 80s are going to outlast us all by 50 years, I'm sure.
Yeah. I wish we still had ours. Mom moved a couple of times and they got broken or lost. And so
this year on my Christmas tree, I actually acquired a 50-year-old Christmas tree topper.
Nice.
For my Christmas tree that is, this Christmas tree topper is one of those ones that you look at and it is ugly as sin. Mm-hmm. It is just the ugliest thing that you've ever seen. And it was on sale back in Kmart for $5 back in the day. And it was one of those ones that would just sit there and no one would buy them. But now they are absolutely sought after just because of once you turn them on and they start moving, it creates this big kaleidoscope effect in the room that it's in. And it's just, it's so desirable. But it's just the fact that, it's a 50-year-old Christmas tree topper Sometimes the old stuff is the good stuff.
The vintage and the retro.
Yeah.
People seek out that vintage and retro. I mean, I'm the same way in a lot of aspects of that.
It's like the ceramic Christmas trees, the tabletop Christmas trees that have the multicolored lights you can put on there. My mom still has. We've got one. We haven't gotten it out yet, but we've still got my mom's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I remember there was a house here in town that used to have, the big picture ones up front, and they had the aluminum Christmas tree that would rotate and it would shine. Yeah. So I remember that house. They used to passing by that, and I always thought that was the neatest thing.
It's a cool thing. Like I said, the Christmas is one of those things. Like, everyone has their holidays. We're all big nostalgia driven anyway. But I think Christmas, even though like Halloween is my favorite holiday, I will agree that Christmas might be the most nostalgic holiday for everybody, whether one way or another.
Absolutely.
I mean, like you said, all the everybody wanting to rebuy or reproduce old style ornaments and decorations. It's a cool thing though. I mean, it's a good thing to overindulge in nostalgia with Christmas.
It is. It really is. And it just, like I said, it pulls those, this time of year, it seems like you kind of, you go into that nostalgia frame of mind more at this time of year, just recalling your own memories. And then when you have kids and you want them to have good memories when they grow up. So I love to sit here at this time of year. Bo, me and you are the same. We love to watch old commercials. And I love to find the old Christmas commercials. I mean, last year, I think I drove Brock crazy, but
no, you drive me crazy watching reruns of Price is Right on Pluto all the time. Guess what we've been doing this morning?
Watching Price is Right. And you know what? They'll start having the Christmas editions of the Barker Years Price is Right coming up soon.
Yeah.
So.
It's fine. She didn't really bug me. I used to watch that all the time as a kid too. So
I like to go.
Barker.
I love to go on YouTube and find the old Christmas commercials and the old Christmas specials. Last year, I think I watched one of Dean Martin's Christmas specials that was on YouTube. So
I'd say what's even more fun if you can find them, if they don't get taken down quickly. Look for some of the old Christmas parades. Those are fun to watch too.
Okay, all right.
They pop up and disappear quickly, but you got to look for them.
I remember back to 2020 when the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade was nothing but digital floats.
That was a good parade this year, though, by the way. It's good to see that back in full swing again.
It's like I said, it was a strange year. Hey.
Hey, well, when we get to the New Year's show, we'll have to talk about the Don't Drink and Drive commercial that Alyssa found from the 80s that
yes,
my daughter found this commercial. We were down there last weekend and she was talking about that, and she was sitting at the dinner table just cracking up thinking about it.
I found that in a compilation of holiday. That's how I came about it. Was one of those YouTube compilation videos of retro Christmas commercials.
But let's not discuss it. We'll save that for the next one when we get into New Year's. But
okay,
that is her favorite. She laughs. Just the thought of that commercial makes her laugh. But well, so, with all of us, like you said, being nostalgic and all of us being collectors of some sort, what are some of the favorite gifts that you got when you were a kid? Like, for me, there was no bigger thrill than getting that Sears or JCPenney. You get the Christmas wish books.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Christmas
my
wish
gosh.
books.
And you know that Amazon does one.
Yeah, we get it.
Amazon actually does a toy book, and I get it. And I know my girlfriend was like, "How did you get this?" I'm like, "I don't know. They just started sending it to me." It was the same as it was whenever we were younger. It was like you would just suddenly start getting this catalog.
And Target does the same thing. Target sends them too.
Yep, Target doesn't.
I mean, but when we were growing up and had these big wish books, I mean, these things were thicker than phone books.
Yep.
And they hurt when you got hit with them. And if you stacked it, if you did like us, we kept them every year just for that. I wish I still had them. We had stacks, but they would fall over and they were heavy. Man.
Yeah, you looked forward to that Sears wish book.
So many pin marks and dog-eared pages. Mama, didn't get close to a quarter of what I wanted, but what are some of the things that you guys may have gotten for Christmas that you may not have anymore, you may still have, but it's something that really just sticks out in your mind as one of the ultimate Christmas gifts from your youth?
I'm just going to go back to saying my Barbie dream house. that was one of that always stands out in my mind. The Christmas that I got it.
The original Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nothing. I mean, I have gotten some. I mean, my mom is listening to this, or she hears it, or hears anybody talk about it. She got me some phenomenal gifts over the years. My dad did when he was alive as well. I remember getting really good gifts when I was a little kid. But nothing beats the original Nintendo Entertainment System. I mean, it's hilarious because on a bit of a tangent here, there's actually a movie out now called 8-Bit Christmas, where he talks about the whole fervor behind getting a Nintendo Entertainment System and the Power Glove, and how the Power Glove was garbage and it didn't do what it was supposed to do, but everybody wanted it. It was definitely truth. Yeah. But yeah, the Nintendo Entertainment System, just the NES, was the best thing that I remember thinking that was just the bee's knees. That was everything. That just being able to get that with the included Super Mario Brothers / Duck Hunt game,
the hours,
and just playing Super Mario Brothers over until you couldn't do it. Oh my God, that was just
see,
one of those things you hooked up and you're like, all right, Kevin's got the TV for at least the next 3 days.
See, unlike y'all, I had a sibling. I have a younger brother, so I got to kind of, he would have his. Usually, like the game systems were kind of the collective gift for the two of us together. Mm-hmm. So, I remember when we got those. But, I would have my things over here, my toys. But then, I'd have my brother over here that was getting his Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain and the Thundercats. And he got the Ghostbusters toys. So I kind of got to dab a little bit into both worlds growing up. And, me and my brother, we'd play together, so I got a chance to play with all these toys, too, growing up.
Yeah, like the NES, I believe we got it for my birthday one year. So I have to say because I got it for Christmas that year, which is funny. I still, is the SNES. Reason why I say that, that was one of my favorites. I still love it. Like I said, NES is good. SNES, I think, is like, for me, like, I like the NES. Don't get me wrong. Great retro console, but I think the SNES is probably my favorite of that era. Which is funny I know you guys can see it, but behind me, I still have my original box from that Christmas that year.
Wow.
Nice.
You see, I was on the other side of it. I actually, instead of going with the SNES, I went with Sega Genesis.
Yeah. Oh, no, you did what Nintendo don't. I understand. No, I mean, like I said, that's me and Kevin. But I mean, like Brock, like I said, the big video game guys. I think video games will always be my biggest thing, like for entertainment toy wise. I mean, I had plenty of toys, don't get me wrong, Ghostbuster toys, all this stuff. But I think, like I said, the SNES will be my favorite.
Yeah, I got Mario Paint for Christmas along with the Super Nintendo. I wore the mess out of Mario Paint. In fact, I even did a project for it for my senior year where I hooked it into the VCR and made a video on Mario Paint and turned it in for a project. Yeah. Gave the teacher my videotape, and he's like, "How'd you make this?" I'm like, "I hooked up my Super Nintendo and played Mario Paint." He's like, "This is actually creative," and I'm like, "Well, now you see where my beginnings in broadcast news came from, in editing, video editing."
Mario Paint did it all.
Well, you could draw in it, you could make music in it.
Oh yeah,
it had
we had Mario Paint too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I also got the NES for Christmas in '87. I want to say that's when I think that was the first year they made the big push for those for Christmas.
Yeah, it was '87. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, I got my SNES. It came out in It came out in '90, but I didn't get it till that following Christmas in '91 is when I got it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's when I got mine. Yeah.
I always loved to. One of my other favorite ones as we got older and kind of moved more out of toys was, of course, you're getting a new stereo system, little boom box or whatever, and Casio keyboards.
Oh man.
Couldn't play a keyboard, but I had the Casio with all the sounds, so I just made noise on it.
My 13th or 14th birthday, I got a big Magnavox that had a CD player. I think it was my first like in-home CD player I had. I had that. It had that, a dual tape deck, and like I was vibing
then. Piece of trivia that I don't even think Jess knows.
Ooh.
So here we go.
All right.
For Christmas, getting the big stereo system like Bo's got behind him right now, the old retro. My very first CD player. You know what my very first CD was that came with it?
Tell me.
Hangin' Tough.
Shut up.
My mom bought me New Kids on the Block, which
Go, Joan.
I was like, really, Mom? You know how much I don't like these guys. She's like, you wanted a CD, you got a CD. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I actually had Hangin' Tough as my very first CD, which I'm still conflicted to this day over.
My first copy of Hangin' Tough was a LP, so it was a record.
You guys have got me thinking about other stuff now. I'm progressing. I thought about another one of my favorite gifts I got was from Christmas of 97. And I thought about it. I wore it earlier this year to when I met him, but my Starrcade 1997 Hulk Hogan versus Sting t-shirt. I've had that thing since 97. And I thought about that. I got that for you. I got that for Christmas that year. So
Sting,
that's another one of my.
Didn't you say Sting was surprised that you actually had it?
Yeah, he was like, man, that thing's in great shape. I was like, yeah. I think that's what I told him. I said, I bought it and then I wore it once or twice. And then my mom put it up. And then when I moved out, it got put in a closet. And then she found it here within the last 4 or 5 years ago. She's like, hey, you still want this? I was like, heck yeah, I still want
it. So one of my all-time favorite gifts that I got was back in, I guess it was back in 87 as well, is my parents got me the Commodore 64.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. That really kickstarted nerd and geekdom for me. I would sit there for hours. What was it? It was a 321 Contact magazine that used to come, and they used to have little sample Commodore 64 programs in the back that you could type out and make your Commodore do all kinds of things. Of course, at that time, I didn't know how to save the program, so every time I'd have to turn off the computer, then go back to it and retype that entire program back out. It was a hassle for just a few minutes worth of fun with it, but, that's really helped me as far as being geek and electronics and stuff. But yeah, the NES and then the Commodore 64, they got me the G.I. Joe, the Cobra Terror Dome one year. Ooh, that was a big place. Mm-hmm. We didn't have any place in the house to put it. So we had to walk around it all the time. I think I kept it back in my room, and that corner didn't have anything else in it. I think it was so huge. But of course, He-Man figures and the G.I. Joe Rattler, which was the A-10 Warthog, which is my all-time favorite plane. I actually got to help rebuild a real one, at least the shell of a real one, when I was in the Air Force, because we all rebuilt it and set it outside of our squadron because our commander at the time was an old A-10 pilot. And then the Cobra with the Night Raven, which was the Blackbird jet, really long Cobra jet. That's I'm trying to think. I got my first VCR in the 80s as well for Christmas one year.
Yeah, I remember the VCR being one of the gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I guess that's all I can think of off the top of my head from back then. Mom was always really good about getting me things, and of course, back in the mid '90s when the Braves won the World Series, she was able to get off QVC because that's where Mom did all her shopping. Got me a autographed picture and a plaque of Dave Justice from the Braves from that year. So, and of course, towards the end of high school, Star Trek, the Playmates line. That's when I really loaded up on figures and stuff throughout the collection was around Christmas. So,
well, is there anything like, I know sometimes with Christmas coming up, is there any particular that is a must watch for you at this time of year that you just can't get through the season unless you watch this one particular movie?
No. All right. I'm going to start us off.
All right.
Two words. Die Hard.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Die Hard is the ultimate Christmas movie. I don't care what you say. It is amazing.
And we do. And thanks to Kevin, we've got our Bruce Willis ornament on the tree this year.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
So, yeah, I made a whole set of just to give you a description. Remember the scene in Die Hard where Bruce Willis is crawling through the ductwork and he's got his lighter out and he's shining it. I made a whole bunch of Christmas ornaments of that scene and just kind of have one myself and gave them out to friends. Obviously everybody here got one of them, But yeah, it's something that I've been wanting to do for years, and finally got one on my tree. And I was like, why make one when I can make like 20 of them?
Now I know what a TV dinner feels like. One of my favorite quotes in that
movie. Yeah, that movie is infinitely quotable, and what they say, it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off Nakatomi Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, if you want to go Christmas movies that people won't say are Christmas movies, like I said, mine are 2 words, and it's Batman Returns.
Oh yes,
there you go.
Like I say, it's not like I said for you. You say it's not Christmas. You see Hans Gruber fall off. I guess it's not Christmas until I see Max Schreck being fried by Catwoman, I guess.
I was either thinking that, or you see Shrek's department store, blow up or whatever. Yeah.
Well, that's so funny. Is like I said, everyone talk about how Die Hard is or isn't a Christmas movie. I always like where people's now brought up it is a Harry Potter movie because he's essentially sneaking around from Alan Rickman.
Yeah, right.
Sneaking around to avoid Alan Rickman. So.
Which it's always surprised me. Granted, Alan Rickman came from a theater background already, but that was like his first real movie, like the first thing that he did, and he just fell right into it like it was nothing.
Yeah, literally.
And I love how all I'm just saying, the people that get extra annoyed when people say, "Well, Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie," are usually the people that have their decorations up before Halloween. So I'm just saying.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Don't gatekeep Christmas movies. It is now officially like I don't care if Bruce Willis said it's not a Christmas movie. It is a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie. He wouldn't be there if it wasn't Christmas. The bad guys wouldn't be there if it wasn't Christmas. Christmas
he got invited to a Christmas party.
Right, exactly.
That was one of my favorite things is in 2016 when we went out to LA for the Sony for the Answer the Call premiere. We got to visit Sony, and the hotel we stayed at was right next door to the one that is in there is Nakatomi Plaza. And so I'm like, wow, that is a huge building. He had to fall a long way.
Yeah, you sent me a message like, check out where I am.
I forget the name of that building now.
I want to say, what did like the not RCA? It was
Fox.
Fox, something like that.
It's the actual building for whatever the production company that the publisher or whatever they call it. Whoever it was that produced them, it's their building, and they were actually in the process of building it, and that there were still several of the floors that were under construction, and they were like, "Oh yeah, okay, you can just shoot the movie in there. We'll just delay delay construction a little bit there," and they let them. If you guys have yet to watch the Movies That Made Us episode on Die Hard, you really need to watch it. There's a lot of really cool information that came out of that. Yeah. About just all the little movie details and tidbits. If you really enjoy that, I would definitely check that out for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation's always at the top. And just for the absolute sake of nostalgia, you got to go back and watch the Rankin and Bass Christmas specials. Frosty and was Frosty one of them? I know Rudolph.
Yeah, Frosty and Rudolph. Yes.
Yeah. Back the old stop animation. Of course, Frosty wasn't stop animation, but Rudolph and
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all stop animation. Yeah, those are always good. We've got the DVD set of all those, and Charlie Brown Christmas. You got to go back. But honestly, I really wish they'd stop playing the Linus piano theme for Christmas music.
Oh Lord,
the local station here in Birmingham that plays Christmas music, they put that song on repeat, and it's annoying now to the point I hate that song.
Well, for me, I have to say It's a Wonderful Life is my number one go-to at this time of year, and I actually introduced Brock to that.
Last year?
Last year. He had never seen it before, and
I'm ashamed.
And shocker, something that he had never seen before until I showed him A Christmas Story. He had He had just seen that recently at the same time frame, right? I think I pulled out all this Christmas stuff that I was amazed that you had not seen.
It was a pandemic Christmas,
Yeah, we had to.
I'm like, well, we're here. We might as well get caught up.
And of course, I'm a big fan of the Christmas Vacation as well, and Scrooged. Bill Murray's Scrooge.
Oh, yeah. We can't leave out Scrooge.
So we have A Wonderful Life, A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, and Scrooged.
Thank you for mentioning Scrooged, because I haven't seen that yet this year. I need to go and watch it. I'll do that this evening.
We really haven't watched anything Christmas related yet.
We've been so busy and on the go, and we've been somewhere over the last couple of weekends, and we really need to get to our Christmas viewings here coming in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, those I would say that those are mine.
I just thought about another one to continue with our Ghostbusters love. I'm going to need to watch the great RGB episode, Xmas March the Spot. Watch that one. That's another one that's in my rotation.
Yeah.
Which, if anyone hasn't seen this, basically where the Ghostbusters kind of get hired to bust the ghost spirits and kind of mess with time. It's a weird. It's 80s cartoons. Just watch it for that.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, that's the one that I haven't seen in a long time is Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yep, that's another great one.
We've got to watch that this year. I'm sure it's on Disney Plus. Has to be.
Has to be. Yeah.
That was always a favorite of mine because I grew up with the Disney Channel back when they actually showed all the old cartoons and everything all the time.
Oh man, I miss 80s, 90s era Disney Channel so much.
Oh, big time. Every morning I'd get up and I'd watch Dumbo Circus and watch. They showed about an hour of Mickey and Donald cartoons. All the the good ones, not this animation they got now.
The new Mickey, it's funny. I know it,
but the animation is terrible.
Yeah, I'm not crazy on a lot of the new modern animation, but it's funny. It's really funny.
And we've got a new Christmas, I guess you could call it tradition now, and I'm going to thank Kevin Gardner on this one. So,
yes, thank you, Kevin.
And then in all things Christmas, we love our Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes. Kevin Gardner made a suggestion, and we have adapted this in the Parker household now, and it will never be the same again. It's always going to be, you take those little Christmas tree cakes and you stick them in your freezer.
Yeah.
And
it will change your life, guys. Trust me.
It really did.
It did. I have happy diabetes now.
You take that little Christmas tree cake out of that freezer and bite into it. It's wonderful.
The really good thing is that it just the consistency of it. It doesn't freeze completely,
right?
But the caking on it. Now, if you eat Christmas tree cakes and you like them for being light and the dough inside of it being really light and fluffy, don't do this because it will make the dough really heavy. But it feels like it tastes better. It just hits better when it's cold like that.
I agree.
Yeah. It's wonderful. So yeah, she bought a couple of boxes the other day and every one of them went right to the freezer. Like, thank you, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. As we're replacing each one.
Well, you're welcome.
And I know that there is a Christmas tree cake ice cream out there somewhere that Little Debbie put up, but I've yet to find them. So our stores haven't been stocked with them.
Yeah.
And there's also a Little Debbie Christmas tree cake dip that I got from Katie Ambrose. So I want to try to put that together this Christmas too.
Well, did you save any of the Christmas tree cakes to make that?
Well, we're currently out right now, so I'm going to have to go to the store so that they do. I missed out. Our local store had the family pack the other day, and I thought, I'll come back and get it later. It's gone now. So,
have you guys got the bigger packs, like the ones that they sell at Walmart, and sit and just observe just how chunky the Christmas tree cake has gotten? Like, you can get the smaller ones still in the smaller packs, but the bigger ones, and they're jumbo cakes.
Wait a minute.
So they're super chunky.
They have jumbo cakes? I missed this. I did not know this.
They did them last year. I think they introduced them last year, didn't they? Oh my.
Well, I don't know, but they are very chunky.
Look, it's the end of the year. You got to get ready to make that resolution to, do better next year. So let's, go out on a high note.
Christmas calories do not count.
That's what I told him just the other day. I was like, I'm not even worrying about it. You just can at Christmas because, you have all your Christmas goodies that are must-haves at this time of year. And you just need to enjoy every bite.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be hopefully some goodies being made here at our house soon when if I can get the time. It's just been crazy.
That's the other thing, like with Christmas memories or on newer things now where, they're doing. It's kind of neat. I've seen where people are taking like videos, like of their grandmas, and they post them on YouTube or TikTok, and they're like showing how to make their old recipes. Like the one I saw was like for one of these like fruit salad type things, where I'm sure it has 9 million grams of sugar with it, but I'm sure it is the most delectable thing. So, which I'm hoping that's something that needs to be more and be done, because like these old ladies with these great recipes are wonderful, but they're not going to be with us forever. So we need the recipes, because I mean,
I can definitely attest to that.
Yeah.
Like like food is just a great memory with that. Also, like one of those good memories. Like I said, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but like I said, that's stuff I've got me now thinking. I'm like, Mom, I need to get you to write all your stuff down for me, which she already has. I know she does. I need a hard copy.
Yeah, my mom was really good about handwriting a bunch of recipes, and I've got all her. Thank you, God, that I've got all her old recipes.
That's good.
She has this recipe that she came up with she called them Jones Party meatballs, and she only fixed them at Christmas, and they're fantastic. Every time she took those anywhere, they disappeared faster than anything on the table. So I've got her handwritten meatball recipe, and every Christmas, Jess will fix a batch or 2 or 3 because I'm like, hey, can you make these? Matter of fact, this past week at work, we had a potluck lunch for the holidays. My boss is already gone for the remainder of the year. So we had a little early, and
the request came in.
And so this past week, I'm carrying big crock pot into my office and plugged it up, and the smell is getting all over the entire office. And one of my coworkers walks by. She goes, "Were that your meatballs in there?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh my gosh, they smell wonderful." And they disappeared faster than anything else at the party. So we've got that. So my mom always fixed peanut butter cornflake candy.
Mm-hmm.
And so
this is something I need to discover.
Look, hey, if you've got time off during the holidays, come over. We'll make a batch.
That's peanut butter cornflake. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I tried my hand at that last year.
And she nailed it.
And I nailed it. So
she nailed it. So it's cornflake candy, peanut butter, Karo syrup.
Bo's just like, whoa, wait a minute.
We'll make you guys a batch. No problem. Yeah. And so there's that. My mom always made also peanut butter balls dipped in chocolate, which I've not had. And I don't think she left behind a recipe when she died.
Yeah, I attempted that last year. Wasn't as successful as I had hoped, but I gave it
the chocolate was a little bit more bitter than the one she used, but it was close. You can always try again this year. I won't complain.
Brock's like, I volunteer as tribute as always.
Oh,
we're going to figure this out.
Look, you live once, right? Make the most of it.
Yeah.
Eat junk at Christmas. That's great.
But junk it. I like that.
Yeah. And one of my projects that I've been meaning to do, and I want to get my daughter to help me with this because she and my mom always had a really close relationship. But because I've got so many of Mom's handwritten recipes, I'm actually going to, and I've been saying this for 3 or 4 years, and I've had a couple of aunts and my sister fuss at me. Where is it? I'm going to be putting together a cookbook eventually of Mom's old recipes and actually, maybe putting those up for sale or something. But my mom was a fantastic cook, and Jess never met my mom, but she cooks just like her. And so bonus points for that.
Ah, thanks, hon.
I guess we'll keep you around.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm good for something at least.
She doesn't take up much space. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, golly, this has been so wonderful hearing Christmas stories and memories and everything else. And do you guys have anything else you want to share before we go and eat junk?
I think I'm good for everything I think of. I'm sure we'll have something fun for whatever Christmas post-Christmas or spectacular we try to do, or pre. I'm sure we'll record again, but.
So I think I'm going to go and eat me a Christmas tree cake.
Apparently ours are all gone, so I would join you. But
I think we've got a few more left. I think.
Do we?
I don't know. Check.
Time to go check that freezer.
Yeah.
But yeah, we may. I'm hoping that we'll be able to fit in another episode before New Year's hits. But we just want to thank you guys so much for all the support and the interactions and stuff that you've given us this year. We started this back back late spring, and we've had a lot of fun with it. And we've had a lot of fun interacting with you all on social media and everything. And so we just appreciate all the support and really just hope you guys have a wonderful, safe holiday and a great Christmas, and hope you get everything that you want from Santa. And as we talk about junk food, make sure you leave Santa stuff, because
that's right. Santa loves his milk and cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just say, just touching on what Brock says, thanks everyone for all the support. And I've heard from a couple of you here in since the Afterlife podcast dropped, and Darnay's expressed he enjoyed the last podcast with the Afterlife. And I just heard from Megan Yenter yesterday that she said that she really enjoyed listening to that podcast, and she misses us. Can't wait to see us at some point in time. So thank you, Megan. And again, thanks to all of y'all that have been a part of this with us and has been supporting us along the way. We really do appreciate it.
Yep. I think you guys are great.
Hey, same to you, man. Back at you, bud.
Well, we have loved doing this, and we love you for listening, and we really appreciate it. We'll try to say hi. We're scheduled to get one more episode out before the end of the year. We will try to do that. And golly, just be safe, be merry, be bright. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, guys. Merry Christmas.
Bye.